Guys, welcome back to this week's weekly outlook. Last week was just sensational. If you're on the group, you already know. It was amazing. I think if we were to go on about all the positions that we took last week and all the wins that we had last week, this video will take forever. So maybe I'll just start a new series of trade recaps or something. But without further ado, let's get into what we have in store for us this week. So as usual, we look at the fundamentals, and the fundamentals can kind of give us an incline into what we are to expect this week, right? So to begin with, we have some CPI data. So CPI data is consumer price inflation. So just inflation numbers on the Canadian dollar, which is very important because I'm actually actively in 3 Canadian dollar positions. So we hope that can print before the forecasted value. We do have on Wednesday, so Tuesday we have nothing. Wednesday we have which price not that important. We also have inflation numbers from the consumer point of view on Wednesday for the pound, so keep an eye on that. FOMC, so the government shutdown has officially ended, I believe. Things are just going to resume as normal, so I assume that we do this, the USD data will actually print out this time and not just skip. And yeah, unemployment claims comes out every Thursday. Is not important. Unemployment rate a bit more important, but not that big. And then on Friday we have a lot of PMI, which is private mortgage and something, I forgot what it is, but yeah, just stuff to do with house loans and all that. Not that important, but we do have that on the euro, we do have that on the pound, and also we do have that on the dollar. So Friday probably some volatility as well. Now let's get right into the charts. Those are kind of the positions I have open, but let's just go straight to the charts. So what am I looking for on the dollar? I marked this out open last week, guys. This was my liquidity high. I wanted it to get taken. It got taken, and then I marked out this demand zone. So what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for price to interact with this demand zone and shoot higher. However, in my opinion, we also do have a demand zone over here, which I didn't mark out. I obviously preferred price would reach this demand zone because it makes more sense to me. However, price can literally start going from here. So I'm keeping an eye on US dollar longs because, yeah, we're very close to breaking this fractal high, right? So we come boom, 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 boom. And then here we're kind of just stalling over here. So supply is still in control. We're still bearish in the immediate order flow. But if we start breaking above these highs, then I'll start looking for longs in the retest, because overall we're just bullish on the dollar. We have been bullish for a really long time. Even though we did take a lot of liquidity, I still see some more upside. And so yeah, just basically my exact same bias last week. I anticipated last week would just be a lot of selling the dollar because we are really overbought and we are kind of entering the range. So usually you have a sell off, a range, and then a buy, or a buy, a range, then a sell. So this is kind of a sign that buyers are finally stepping into the market. And so yeah, that's I'm looking at dollar longs this week. And so pairing that with kind of a dollar position, of course, where we start with EURUSD. EURUSD, I marked out the supply zone. I'm just going to remove it for now. But yeah, it's doing exactly what I expected to do. So we've interacted with this supply zone, which you can mark in many ways. Basically the box that I just marked right here. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for price to interact with this. And I'm looking at shorts, right? So I'm going to look for a 1 hour fractal break to the downside, which looks like we're on our way to doing. So once this fractal low goes right here at 1.6036, I'll be looking for a retest from that supply zone, and then I'll just continue shorting this to the downside, because for USD, I'm still looking at further lows. Overall, we are bullish, right? We are bullish. Like overall, we have been just buying, but like I think the immediate downflow, the immediate order flow is to the downside, immediate downflow. And this is a first red candle in basically the whole week. So I'm looking for a fractal low to come in, and I'm still targeting this liquidity low, 1.3. Once we reach 1.39, then I think I'll start looking for longs again in EURUSD. Some of you bought from here, which is a really good buy, but I want to go with what the immediate order flow tells me, which is we are selling. So yeah, for EURUSD, I'm just going to wait for this fractal low to go. I think I marked it out, yeah, around here, and then we get a retest, and then I'll be ready to go short. And that's similar to GU for me. The GE is similar. It's a bit more, yeah, it didn't climb as much. We took some liquidity here though. We took all these highs, we took this high, and then we're kind of situated in this supply zone, and then we've kind of started selling off. I don't think there's that much space to the downside, though it is more bearish because the pound is really weak. So like there's no real point to like just start accelerating from. So most people will probably look for this low or for this yearly open, which will obviously take a long time, and the pound has to be really weak for a long time to get there. But it does look good to just continue shorting. I thought we're going to have some range play here. So once we took out these two lows, I thought we're just going to start shooting up again, but we've just broken below that, and I feel like we're creating another supply zone here to continuation to the downside. So yeah, I'll be looking for shorts. Of course, I'll send my ideas in the group, but right now I need a bit more development. I can't lie. Same thing with NZD/USD. I'm looking for shorts. The New Zealand dollar is weak. Yeah, similar to GU, there's no real liquidity over here, so maybe we wait for price to reach the monthly open, and of course next to the monthly open we do have a nice supply zone here, which caused this big sell-off. So I'd say NU, let's wait for this 572. Let's see how price interacts with this, and then let's look for shorts, obviously in line with the dollar index. Once the dollar index switches bullish, price could literally just start selling off from here, right? So it really depends on what the dollar index decides to do, because as long as the dollar index switches bullish, then we could literally just start selling off from here, right? So it's a matter of when. We're just watching what the dollar index does, because the New Zealand dollar is weak, right? I don't need to check this out on a daily if you've been keeping up. I mean, guys, this is a very, very, it's a beautiful price action. I'd want to short this until the yearly open, in my opinion. So I'll be keeping an eye on that for shorts. I'm not trying to buy this, although I do still see some upside to the monthly open. Could even push to the 3 monthly, which is unlikely, but at least to the monthly opens, and then I expect us to just go all the way down to the yearly open. Aussie USD is the only one I won't be looking for shorts, because yeah, the Aussie is just stronger than these other pairs, as you can see. Yeah, it's bullish in general. Look at that, we're respecting all the lows, right? So this is just common sense trading. We're respecting all these lows, and now I think I see some upside. I won't get into it because to me it's mixed data. I think it's weak and strong at the same time, so to me it makes no sense to trade it. However, I do see us continuing up and going to at least the 3 monthly open and probably taking out all this liquidity over here. So if you're in an AU trade, I'd say that's a good trade, because it does look good for some upside. Personally, I'm not. So this is the first trade I'm in right now, in a bit of drawdown. Yeah, I have it marked out. So this is the first position I'm in. I took this on this fractal break here, so I'm around 4,282, basically 403. I have my stop loss here below this low. I saw a fractal break to the upside, and then I'm seeing some stalling action, so I'm just seeing some longs. In my opinion, I think it looks good to set a new high. It's about a 2.5 to 1. Yeah, I think it looks good for longs, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think much needs to be said here. I think if you look at it from the daily, you can see for yourself, we're very bullish. We had a nice pullback, we took some liquidity, and we had a fractal break up, which means that it looks good for some upside. So we took out this liquidity, we took out all these lows here, and yeah, that's the first trade I'm in. So let's go now to the Australian dollar pairs. So Australian dollar pairs looking very interesting for longs, I'm not gonna lie. We're obviously very, very bullish. So any pullback in a bullish market is a chance to buy, so you just want to monitor. So we come here and we take a lot of this trendline liquidity. Obviously we can't take all of it because it's a lot. And we have the monthly and the 3 monthly open situated down here. So I'd say maybe one more push down here till at least test one of these opens. And then from these opens, I'd be more inclined to look for longs. But it could very well just go from here, because this is a nice wick. Like you can see where it closes, it takes out all this liquidity and then closes right back here in line with this, and then we see the big strong green engulfing candle. So that's a sign that buyers are stepping in. But I'd be more cautious with this. I'd definitely be more cautious. I wish we came at least to the monthly open. That would give me more reason to. But even if we enter this at market open, let's see. I'd have to extend it to the 3 monthly now. I don't see anything. I don't see a reasonable trade. Yeah, Even if you take it right now, no. So I'm just gonna hope it pushes down a bit more. However, it could just go up from that. So it's very possible the price just keeps pushing up if you look at the recent price action on this. So yeah, I'm seeing longs, and I think odd cat is kind of the same thing. Odd cat, so yeah, 3 monthly open just working as a magnet as resistance. This is very rangy. This is disgusting price action. Yeah, I'm not interested in this. This is just very rangy. If it gets to the 3 monthly, short it's such a reasonably safe stop loss and short it, right? We're clearly in some form of a range. Yeah, I won't be trading this week. And what's the last pair? Okay, that's done. So on to the yen pairs. Of course, we start off with the basket. So the yen basket's very, yeah, I don't even need to analyze this. It's very, 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 very bearish. Yen is just very weak for a variety of reasons. I could make a whole video on this, but the last time we interacted with the monthly open, completely rejected that, and I just see further downside. Maybe we retest the monthly open and just keep selling, but just sells. Like, I think you'd better off just analyzing every individual pair. Yeah, I'll be looking for some buys on this. Obviously, I'm always looking to buy this every single week. I'm waiting for the pullback phase, and I'm trying to get in on the buying phase. It's been a lot. So obviously your immediate buy zone is here. We have made a very, very extended move, so I'm expecting something like this. So we make a very extended move, and then we have this very big liquidity sweep, and then another pull like that. So generally speaking, this is an interesting area to buy from for continuation longs, but honestly, I see price dropping probably all the way to the monthly open. So unfortunately, I'm going to need a larger pullback on this before I can even think about entering a long position there. Nope, nothing here for me. I don't think Aussie yen has anything very interesting. US dollar probably. We took some liquidity here. We probably missed that chance, right? We took out all these lows. This was a great opportunity. If you're monitoring this in the lower time frame, although it's a Friday, I don't like taking any positions on Friday, so I would have missed this anyway. But maybe if you can come back down and retest some of these up in the lower time frame, maybe like the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, if you could come back, already starting, order flows already switched bearish in my opinion. So now I think most of the yen pairs have made them move. I think just wait for the pullbacks. I think this is going to be a pullback week on the yen, which means the yen basket will probably buy up for this week. Yeah, I've kind of marked out this range high and range low. We're trending towards the range high. I'm not confident buying or shorting either of these pairs. I think these are the two weakest currencies right now, the yen and the pound, in terms of just recent economic data. So we did take a win on this, I believe, last week, which was really nice. Yeah, this is a position we took, and I could have held it for much longer, low-key, but I think, yeah, it's already making its pullback. I think, yeah, this is a good idea. Probably wait till the monthly open. Yeah, I think EURUSD makes the most sense. If you can have this hit the monthly open, then I'll be very, very interested in longs again. But until then, I'm gonna sit this one out. Now, let's go to the Swiss franc. This is one of the trades I'm actually in as well. I entered this on the copy trading, so my copy traders, I already closed it at around here, so y'all are good. We had the news of the government shutdown ending, which just made the Canadian dollar really strong, or made the Swiss franc really weak for the moment. I think this is just a pullback, man. I don't think this is anything serious. We could honestly pull back all the way to the 3 monthly open. I'm not concerned. I don't have my stuff on break even. We already reached like what, a 1.8, and I do see us potentially pulling back even to the 3 monthly open or to this supply zone here. Hopefully it doesn't pull up that high. That's high. But yeah, probably to the supply zone. But I'm still seeing us just breaking this low and setting a new low, because why? CAD Swiss is extremely bearish in its common sense. We've been setting new lows since ever since this ugly price action in 2024. Yeah, we've been setting new lows since February. So I'm not going to be a fool and expect us to all of a sudden start breaking highs. So yeah, I took this on the daily. As you can see, I waited for the daily fractal break. So we closed here, and that's when I was in. I set my limit here. We got wicked in, and then we've just been dumping. And I think I don't care about this wick. I'm not worried about it. So if you're in this trade with me, don't worry about it. Unless there's something crazy that happens, I think it's still going to hit TP. So I'm definitely not worried about it. As for the other Swiss franc pairs, they've all made their moves. They all sold off. I regret not entering more. I didn't get tagged here. This was my limit. I missed this. I missed NZD Swiss. So this was, as much as we won a lot, like I feel like I missed out on more. Look, this is a position I failed to take as well, just because I didn't get tagged in. But yeah, you can't get involved in every Swiss franc pair. Obviously, you want to manage your risk. Usually 2 to 3 pairs for the same currency. It's the same bias. Like if you're shorting the franc, you don't want to short the franc 3 or 4 times. 3 if you're just very convicted, but like twice. Like I wouldn't want to be against a certain currency 3 times. That's just not managing your risk well, in my opinion. G Swiss, this was the most painful one. Oh my goodness, I hope I still have my position open so y'all can see. This was not my position. My position was somewhere here. Yeah, so I got wicked out, and then price just like dumped to, oh my gosh. Anyway, such is life. So yeah, we missed out on this one, but it was a good idea. This was the most bearish, honestly. Look at this. Like this hurts the most. Like this was the most obvious dump of them all. So yeah, I think that's it for Swiss pairs. I'm just gonna keep holding my CAD Swiss, and I'll be waiting for pullbacks. Honestly, if this can come back to the monthly open, I'm gonna short it. Same with all the pairs. So just keep an eye on the group. If we can have a pullback on all these franc pairs, especially the New Zealand and the pound, because those are the 2 weakest pairs, then we're gonna continue shorting it. So keep an eye on it. So far, I'll just be holding my CAD Swiss pair. That's enough of Swiss. Let's go to the last position I'm in, which is against the Canadian dollar. I know I told you guys not to short one currency 3 times, but sometimes the price action is just too sweet. Like here, how can you not short this, guys? Rather, how can you not, short against the Canadian dollar? How can you not long this pair? Look at that. So on the daily, this is kind of the range, and then we clear out all this liquidity, and then we have a V-shaped reversal up. How can you not set a limit and buy this up? Like, you can't. Like, if this hits stop loss, I'm not gonna say I'll be happy, but I'll be like, you know what, I took a great trade, because this is a great trade, right? So we take out all this liquidity. Once we take out the liquidity, we have a V-shaped reversal. We break all these fractals, right? This would be the fractal high. We break it, and then we have a retest, and right on the retest, I set my limit, and obviously we're facing a bit of resistance because it's the 3 monthly open, so you can always expect the quarterly levels to cause some resistance, some liquidity. Obviously, we're also taking out all these highs, so obviously some short-term downside, probably all the way till here. I'm not concerned, but I don't know how long it will take. Maybe a week, maybe 2. I think we're gonna set a new high. Yeah. The other pairs, not too interested, if I'm being honest with you. Euro Aussie, similar to Euro CAD, but the Aussie is really strong, so I wouldn't do it. Euro NZD, kind of the same thing. Some longs obviously look good, probably from the quarterly level again, because it has made its extended move, so we can expect a pullback. We have taken out these lows, so maybe if you want to look for a quick long to the upside, it is possible, but not the way I trade. I think I still see some downside on this, but you could just long this up, in my opinion. And then lastly, Euro Pound. Euro Pound is looking for longs. Wow, okay, so we have pulled back into a very interesting area of interest, right? So maybe some longs from here. Let's see how price reacts here if we take out some liquidity. It's raining really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But if we can take out some liquidity here or come back into this demand zone, we can look for longs. GBP, I'm not really looking at any positions because the pound is just so weak. So probably not. Yeah, I'm not really interested in this. I'm not interested in trading the pound anything unless I'm shorting it. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's not really much we're doing here. The one pair I'm interested in is GA short. We took a win on this last week, if you guys remember. We took a wonderful win on this. I closed it at around here, right at the tip. Pause. No. Okay. Yeah. 9. Yeah, around there. So yeah, we've pulled back right here. We have the yearly open here, we have the weekly open, we have the 3-monthly open. So I think I'll be very aggressive with GA. I'm looking for more shorts. So expect me to short this again to the downside, 100%. Lastly, gold. Gold making a pullback, looking good for potential longs to cut some liquidity. Probably from the monthly open, I'll look for some longs. I also like this demand zone over here. We have the 3-monthly open right beneath it. So go look good for some longs, probably some intraday setups, which I will update you guys in the chat. And lastly, I said that Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to dump. I mentioned this. I mentioned it'll be very interesting to see what happens when we reach the yearly level. So we're just about there. So let's see how price interacts with the yearly level. I see some upside, 100%. I think we're going to rebound off the yearly level. And yeah, I don't know how high we'll climb because crypto is not like Forex, but I definitely see us rebounding off of this. And yeah, so guys, that will do it. Thank you again for tuning into this week's weekly forecast. And yeah, I wish you guys a wonderful trading week ahead, and I will see you guys inside the group.